Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. So it is that time of year again, and those of you that have been following my channel for a while will know that I like to make a pumpkin pie in the autumn season, and since it's September, I think now's a good time as any. My brother-in-law is actually awaiting my pumpkin pie because I told him I like to make them, and because it's not really a done thing here in the UK, you don't tend to find them in the shops that easily. He doesn't usually get to have them, so I'm gonna make a couple actually. So I've already got my pie crusts here. I actually had some sweet pastry left over from when I made a creme patisserie tart, I think was the last thing I made with it, and what I had left over actually filled 2 of these little pie cases. These I just got on Amazon. I thought they would be easier than having a kind of reusable one. Those ones I can hand out to people and not have to worry about never getting them back. So I'm going to be making 2. From what I remember, the recipe I'm using, I had a fair bit of the filling left over, so I figured the filling that I'm making should fill these 2 cases just fine. The only thing I'm missing from this recipe is ground cloves, but that's fine. I've still got nutmeg, cinnamon and ginger, so the flavour should all still be there. Double cream, I have my pumpkin puree. This also I bought on Amazon. You can kind of do it yourself by baking the pumpkin and then scooping out the insides, but this was only £2 on Amazon, and it's the exact amount that I need for this recipe. So I've got that. Eggs down there, brown sugar, and then I've got my spicy milk, corn flour, and then I've got an egg down here for an egg wash. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I need. So I'm going to start by mixing the eggs, pumpkin and the brown sugar together. I'm not going to bother weighing the pumpkin because it does say on the tin that this is exactly 425 grams. I mean, it's never usually exact, but I've only got the 1 tin. This part always puts me off making a pumpkin pie, I'm not gonna lie, because raw mushy pumpkin doesn't actually smell that good, but honestly when it's all baked it's so nice. The way I've always described it is a little bit like the flavour of a carrot cake and the texture of a cheesecake when it's been put in the fridge. I like pumpkin pie when it's set in the fridge. I don't like it when it's room temperature or when it's warm. I think the texture's a little bit more kind of jelly-like, and I don't like that. So now I'm gonna add 3 eggs and 250 grams of brown sugar. And I'm just gonna use my hand mixer to mix it all together. Now that that's all mixed together, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of corn flour, about half a teaspoon of salt, but because I've got my salt in the grinder, I'm not going to bother using a spoon or anything. I am just going to guess. The salt, more than anything, is just to kind of bring out the sweet flavours. And then 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ginger, and about 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. This is where I would have added the ground cloves, but like I said, I don't have any, so I'm skipping that step. And now I'm going to add 240 ml of double cream. Technically I'm doing 240 grams of double cream, but they're not entirely different, so I'm not too worried about it. I just can't be bothered to measure it in a measuring jug, so grams will do. And then 60 grams of milk. Again, this should be 60 ml of milk, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to do grams instead. And now again with my hand mixer, I am just going to mix all of this together. Now I'm going to fill up my pie crusts. I don't want to overfill them because it does rise slightly, so that's probably enough. And even there, I've still got some left over. Now I'm just going to egg wash the edges of the pastry. And these are going to go into the oven at about 190, that's Celsius, and that is not fan assisted. I'll bake them for about 25 minutes, and then I will bring them out and attempt to cover up the crust, like the outer crust, with a little bit of foil, and then pop them back in for another 25 to 40 minutes. My oven will probably take longer because it takes ages to bake anything, but generally things don't burn. Hopefully that wasn't famous last words and I haven't just jinxed myself. But essentially what it is that you're looking for is for the filling to be firm, but then with like a really slight wobble in the middle. That's when you'll know it's done. And yeah, I'm gonna pop these in the oven. Pies are done. I'm just waiting for them to cool down. I'm pretty happy with them. I think they look pretty good. They're a bit cracked, but I am going to put frosting on top of them that will cover that up. So my opinion, maybe unpopular, maybe not, is that cream cheese frosting goes best with anything that has a spicy taste. So pumpkin pie, carrot cake, all of that stuff, it's got to be cream cheese frosting. So that's what I'm going to put on top of them. I've just got to wait for them to cool completely. As soon as they're kind of at room temperature, I'll probably pop them both in the fridge and then pop the frosting on top. Zach has kickboxing tonight, so I'm hoping to be able to take one with me to give to my brother-in-law. So at the minute I am getting dinner prepped, ready. Avery and I are about to go and get Eli from school. Josh is picking Zach up from school today. So they'll all be home soon and then we can have dinner and I can finish off the pies and take Zach to kickboxing. It is Wednesday and Avery's just having her standard time. So for those of you that have been around for a while, do you remember quite a while ago now I showed up to one of Avery's appointments a month early? If you don't, then yes, that did happen. And I did it again. I went to Avery's endocrine appointment with her, packed up her feed and everything because she would have been too happy while we were there, just to find out that actually it's the 11th of next month, not this month. So I was a month early. Anyway, something I didn't mention to you guys in the last vlog is that Avery actually had another seizure over the weekend. I think it was a focal seizure because it was just in her hands. It was just her hands that were twitching, more so one than the other. I can't remember which side it was, but one was definitely more sort of dominant. We did call an ambulance. They didn't end up needing to come out to us because it stopped on its own after about 2 minutes. So we didn't have to administer the rescue med and we didn't feel the need to kind of waste the paramedics' time, considering she was fine, her breathing was fine, and we have the SATS monitor at home to keep an eye on her. We thought it would maybe reset the twitches that she's been having, because sometimes that does happen. She'll stop having the twitches when she has a bigger seizure, but it hasn't. She's still having the twitches. So yesterday she actually had an appointment with her pediatrician. And we've made the decision that she's going to be going back onto Keppra. We stopped Keppra because it wasn't doing a good job at keeping her seizures away. And at the time she was having some pretty violent generalised tonic-clonic seizures, maybe one a month or every 2 months. So we stopped the Keppra and tried Topiramate instead. And the Topiramate works great for keeping those big seizures away. So I'm glad that we tried that medicine. However, since she's been off the Keppra, she's been having these twitches. Now, we don't know if those twitches have just materialised because it's time, or if actually the Keppra might have been masking those or keeping them away. We also don't know what her EEGs are looking like at the moment. She hasn't had one in a while, so she is going to be having another 24-hour EEG soon. The last EEG she had, she was still showing the hypsarrhythmic pattern. Especially now with these twitches happening, it's a good idea to get another one done. She's also going to be having another MRI scan, one because it's just good to have an up-to-date one. She hasn't had one since she was in the ICU when she was newborn. But also, the doctor said after Keppra, if the Keppra doesn't stop the twitches, I'd imagine it's kind of a cluster of things that will make the difference. A, if the twitches continue, B, if we see something in the EEG that we don't like, and C, if the medicines don't work. One being Keppra, that's the first one that we will try, and the other one will be sodium valproate. I think I've said that right, I'm not sure. We're trying Keppra first because we know it doesn't affect her too much in terms of side effects. If not, we'll switch to the other one, but if neither of those work, then we need to start thinking about That's actually her pushing her head forward, by the way. She's not flopping, she's trying to bring her head forward, which is why I have to use a little bit of force to actually get her head back upright. Anyway, if they don't work, we have to start thinking of other options. I know that some people... What are you doing? I know that some people will try diets. I know that there's been success with kind of keto diets and paleo diets. But also the other option is neurosurgery. Now, we're not thinking about that yet. Josh and I have decided the meds will work, it will be fine, one step at a time. Hopefully the meds will work and we don't have to think about her having to have a surgery for epilepsy. I know that I talked about deep brain stimulation for her dystonia quite a while ago. This is a little bit different because it's more kind of, you know, seizures, epilepsy can actually do her quite a bit of damage if left untreated, and it feels like less of an actual option, whereas treating the dystonia with surgery, it felt like we had a little bit more control, I suppose. Whereas if it came to the point where we were told either she's going to keep having these fits, they are doing damage, she's going to keep getting worse, or she has to have the brain surgery, it kind of takes the sort of decisions away from you a little bit, because naturally we're not going to want her to be in harm's way, we're not going to want her to suffer. Whereas the dystonia, she seems to cope with pretty well in terms of the fact that she's happy. At the moment the twitches don't seem to be bothering her too much, but we don't know what's going on subclinically, which is why we need the MRI and the EEG. But I just wanted to update you guys on that. Oh, pudding. The pumpkin pie was lovely, by the way. We still have some left. It's so good. I gave my brother-in-law one and he demolished it all within the same day. So I know it's good. And yeah, the rest of the week, it's turned out to be quite a busy week, really. Tomorrow Avery has a bed assessment. We still don't have a bed for her, but tomorrow's kind of just another step down the road. There is still a lot of red tape in the area regarding beds and what they can give out. At the moment they're not giving anything out, but we're kind of just ticking all the boxes so that when that red tape lifts, Avery can get the bed that she needs. Friday, Avery is having her flu vaccine. I saw a signpost in the doctor's surgery to say that they were giving them out now, so I thought I would get Avery's. I think it's a good idea that we protect her against the flu this year, especially considering how well she's been doing in terms of not getting super ill since we moved here. But also, a little last minute appointment cropped up and she's actually got neurophysiology on Friday as well. My mum is travelling down on Thursday night, so she's going to be with us up until Monday morning, which I'm really excited about. It'll be nice to see her and spend the weekend with her. Josh is going for a tattoo on Saturday. He's actually having quite a big tattoo as well, so it'll be just me, mum and the kids on Saturday, which I am looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to her being here in general, to be honest. I'm not too sure when the plan is to see her again after that, so I'm going to make the most of the time with her. But right now I am just trying to keep Avery as happy as possible in the stander for as long as possible. She's doing well with her stander, to be fair. She's doing well with everything, to be honest. We're just keeping her happy, we're not forcing her too much. The stander is the main thing I kind of make sure I'm religious with. She's in it, I'd say 3 to 5 times a week for up to an hour. Sometimes it's less just because she just doesn't tolerate it very well that day, depending on how tired she is, how much she's done that day. But she can get up to over an hour, which is great. Her gaiters go on pretty much every single night, so those are keeping her legs nice and straight at night. And other than that, it's just lots of play. Isn't it, Pudding? We still haven't heard from the school. I did ask the paediatrician if she can chase up what's going on there, because I think Avery would definitely benefit from being in an educational setting now, especially since she is school age next September. So I really wanted this year for her to be able to sort of transition, do half the time she would in a normal school day, and kind of just really get used to it, get used to the people and the setting. So hopefully we will hear about that soon. We're gonna finish up standard time and then I'm gonna prep dinner for tonight. Zach is coming home a little bit late from school today because he's actually gonna go to the football tryouts. I asked him before he even started if he was interested in football, because I knew he played it a lot in primary school. I'm not sure if he actually understands the game that much, but I do know he enjoyed it. So he said he did want to play football in secondary school. So he's going to the tryouts today. Fingers crossed it all goes well for him. So we need to pick him up a little bit later. I think he finishes at 4:30, and then it is kickboxing night. So we're taking him down to kickboxing. And then tomorrow, bed assessment and cleaning the house, all ready for when my mum arrives in the evening. Hey guys, it is Monday. Today's actually Marley's birthday and he's turning 13. How insane is that I have a teenage stepson? Where has that time gone? I was talking to Josh about this the other day. Marley was 6 when I met him, so I have literally been in his life, or he has been in mine, for half of his life now, which is insane. And I just can't believe he's a teenager. Like, please send help. I have a teenage stepson. He will be coming to see us next in October over half term, which I'm looking forward to, the boys are looking forward to. Anyway, we had a really lovely weekend with my mum. She arrived on Thursday night. She helped me out with appointments on Friday. Saturday, Josh actually went for a tattoo, so he was gone most of the day. So my mum and I took the boys to McDonald's, and then we took them around a few shops so Eli could spend some of his birthday money. And Sunday we went to our favourite all-you-can-eat. We actually did lunch this time, so there was a little bit less of a selection. I definitely think it might have been worth paying the extra to go in the evening, so it's all there, but it was still good nonetheless. And yeah, it was just a really nice weekend, and I was sad to see her go. She was gone before I even got up this morning, but hopefully I'll see her again soon. I think the plan is for after Christmas. If not, hopefully maybe before. We just don't know. But obviously it's a lot of travel and we both have things on. Anyway, Avery finally started her levetiracetam. The doctor's finally got it in. Levetiracetam, or Keppra. She's not actually on the Keppra brand. She's on the Crescent brand, which is what she will stick with now that she started it. But essentially it's the same drug, just a different brand. But we have been told not to switch brands because it can make a difference apparently. And literally she had 1 dose because it is going to take her a while to get up to the full dose. She will be weaning for about 6 weeks or so. She had 1 dose at 150 milligrams on the Thursday night. By Friday the twitches had completely vanished, and she was twitching quite a lot on the Thursday. So I don't know if it's just coincidence that they just stopped, or it was just that 1 dose of Keppra, but either way we're taking it as a bonus. It's now Monday and we haven't seen any twitches. I think we caught 1 maybe on Saturday or Sunday, but aside from that, no twitches, which is insane considering it's been going on for weeks and weeks. But sod's law is she had a neurophysiology appointment on Friday, which my mum came with me to, and I didn't know what this appointment was until we got there. It was an EEG. So what are the chances that the day she stops twitching are also the day she has the EEG to try and capture them? Either way, she had the short EEG anyway, and we're going to see what her baseline is like, see if the hypsarrhythmia is still there. I am interested to see if that is still there. But I'm just going to take it as it is. It's good news, the twitches have stopped, and hopefully it's the Keppra that stopped them, which means we then have a medication that keeps the twitches at bay, and we also have a medication that I'd say subdues her bigger generalized tonic-clonic seizures. The topiramate definitely does help with those. She has not had as many since she started the topiramate, so that would make her epilepsy pretty well controlled, which I'm really pleased about. Anyway, it is Marley's birthday today, but it is Josh's birthday tomorrow. I keep thinking to myself how nice it must have been for Josh to have his son born the day before his birthday. But Marley is not here to make a cake for. Josh is though, and he a while ago requested that I try and make a Cadbury's cream egg inspired cake. So that is what I'm doing, and I've done my research. I currently have 2 6-inch chocolate cakes baking in the oven, and my plan is to frost and fill it with chocolate ganache buttercream, which I've made on my channel plenty of times before. But also I found a recipe that mimics the filling inside of a Cadbury's cream egg. I'm not sure if cream eggs are kind of all over the world or if it's just a UK thing, but for those of you that have not seen them or don't know what they are, it's like a little chocolate egg, and inside it has this really sugary, creamy filling. It's very sweet. I'm not a fan of them anymore as much as I was when I was a kid. I find them far too sweet, but I found a recipe to make it, so I thought it'd be nice to fill the cake with that as well, because it will definitely make it more cream egg-ish. Cream eggs aren't being stocked so much at the moment in the UK because it's not Easter time, so I did have to order the cream eggs on eBay. However, they have not arrived yet, which is a little bit annoying because I need them by tomorrow to be able to finish this cake off. If not, then Josh will just end up having, it'll still be a cream egg inspired cake, so it'll have the filling, but it won't have the cream eggs to decorate it with, which I'll be a little bit sad about. Hopefully the cream eggs come in time. But I need to make the filling. Like I said, I found the recipe online, and the recipe actually calls for corn syrup, which is something that isn't really readily available in the UK. It's not something you find in the supermarkets easy, so I did have to go to good old Amazon to get it. This is, by the looks of it, a Korean brand, but it's corn syrup. The recipe says you could use golden syrup, which we do have in the UK, but apparently it doesn't come out the same, so I just went on Amazon and bought the corn syrup. So I think I need 170 grams of this corn syrup. So please excuse the mess here. Like I said, I've just finished making the cake batter, so they're in the oven and I've got a little bit of a mess in front of me, but I'm gonna make the cream egg filling. So 170 grams of corn syrup to start with. I have never ever worked with corn syrup before. I have worked with golden syrup, but this is new to me. Like I said, I think it is more of an American thing. It's not something you usually find in the UK that much. But whenever I think of corn syrup, I always think of Carrie, you know, the old movie. Apparently they use dyed corn syrup as the pig's blood in Carrie, and the reason I know that is because it says it in Scream. So yeah, 170 grams of corn syrup, and then I need to add, I think this is 58 grams of butter. It says room temperature. I did have to microwave it a little bit because it was in the fridge. So I'm just going to plop this into the bowl as well. And then a teaspoon of vanilla, which I am just going to eyeball. I don't like making a mess of a teaspoon just for the sake of trying to measure out 1 teaspoon. So I eyeball it. So that's all in there, and now I need to beat these together apparently, or cream them together. So I'm gonna see how these mix up. Like I said, never worked with corn syrup before, so I have no idea, but I'm just using my hand mixer. So that is definitely looking creamy. So now I need to add 375 grams of icing sugar, which sounds like quite a lot, but cream egg filling is very sweet. I'm just going to do this bit by bit, and I'm going to sieve it through because icing sugar can get quite messy and it can be quite lumpy if it's been sat in the jar for a little while, which mine has. So yeah, I'm just going to take my time with this until I reach 375 grams. So this is what it looks like now that it is all mixed up. I did have to pop it in the microwave for just a couple of seconds just to loosen it up a little bit more because it was quite stiff with the icing sugar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a third of it and dye that yellow, and then I'm going to cover them both in cling film, pop them both in the fridge until tomorrow, and then in the morning I will kind of mix them together a little bit, and then I'll fill the cake that way. That way it gets that kind of cream egg look, because the cream egg is white and yellow because it's meant to look like the yolk and the egg white. It looks quite similar, so I'm happy with it. Hopefully it will taste nice in a cake. And yeah, then I'm just gonna clean up my mess and then get Avery in her stander, and I will start on decorating the cake tomorrow. It's a disaster. You guys saw it. I'm gonna leave that part of the footage in purposefully so you can see what happened. I was constructing my cake, it was all going well, the inside was gonna look amazing, and then the cake started to collapse because the chocolate buttercream and the cream egg filling just weren't strong enough as they warmed up to support the cake. So I've had to try a different tactic, and I think I might have managed to save it. So there's the cake. It is stacked. It is now in the freezer covered in acetate to try and keep it all together while it gets cold. Hopefully once it's cold, it shouldn't collapse as long as I keep it cold. I literally had to take the cake apart completely, which was not easy with the cream egg filling because it is so sticky. The inside of the cake definitely isn't going to look as pretty as I intended it to, but the ingredients are still the same. It might just look a little bit messier. Hopefully it will still be fine. I think as long as I keep the cake cold, I will manage to salvage the outside because I am just going to be frosting it in chocolate ganache buttercream. The cream eggs still haven't arrived. Disaster number 2. How is this going to be a cream egg cake without the actual cream eggs? Josh understands, he already knows that I'm waiting on them, they might not arrive. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to see where it goes from here. I've got enough chocolate ganache buttercream to frost the cake. So it might just be a very simple plain cake on the outside, but that's fine. Hopefully it looks okay on the inside. I tried my best. It was so difficult trying to work with cake layers that were already covered in just sticky mess. But I suppose the more you bake and the more you make cakes, the more you're going to run into challenges and disasters like this and figure out how to work through them. So yeah, I think the cake will be sturdy and stable once it's nice and cold, and then I'll be able to finish it off. I'm sure I'll feel better about it once it's actually finished, but oh my goodness, what a disaster. You see the mess I'm in now, because cleaning as I go kind of went straight out the window when the cake started to fall apart, so there is just stuff everywhere. I'm going to use the time while the cake is getting nice and cold to just clean up a little bit. And oh, I feel a little bit stressed at the moment. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't want to jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't want to miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. Well, the cake was a disaster, honestly. It reminded me of Sleeping Beauty's birthday cake. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie. The cake is like so lopsided it needs to be propped up with a broom. I called it a leaning tower of cake. Anyway, safe to say that the cream egg filling is not strong enough to support a cake. Even if I had like frozen each layer as I was stacking it, as soon as you take it out and the filling starts to warm, which doesn't take long at all, it just starts to bulge and then flop. So I didn't make any effort in trying to make the cake look pretty. The cream eggs never showed up anyway, and Josh appreciated it anyway, which is really nice, and it tasted good, so that's all that matters, I suppose. Anyway, I've got a couple of things to show you. First thing, I actually had another delivery from Wild, and it was actually another body wash set. I'm still using the scent that they sent me last time, which I absolutely love. I've not actually smelt the new scent that they've sent me because I got so excited about the component. This is the new body wash container that they've sent me. I absolutely love it. It is from their collaboration with Emma Bridgewater. I remember seeing the deodorant component that she did, which was pretty much the same same as this, very, very similar with the bees, and I remember thinking how beautiful it was, and they've actually sent me the body wash, so I'm really, really excited about having this. I think this is gonna have to replace the black component that I keep on my bath because I just think it's so pretty. And then the scent that they've sent me is Hawaiian Ocean, which is actually a collaboration with Stacey Solomon. I know they already did a collaboration with Stacey Solomon on the deodorant, and I have used some of her scents and they are really nice, very girly, very floral. This is really nice as well, very, very floral. Definitely be opening into that once I've used up my last one. You get the same benefits from using the body wash as you do the deodorant. It's made with natural ingredients. The refills are compostable and the component is obviously reusable, so it is much better for the environment. So it really is a win-win, and the scents are just incredible. I do have a long-standing discount code with Wild. As usual, I will leave it in my description box below. Just full disclosure, it is an affiliate code. So that does mean that I may make a small amount of money from your purchase, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. And I have had a partnership with Wild now for a really long time. I feel like it's over a year now. I love their products, I love their deodorants, I love their body washes. I haven't yet tried their lip balms, but I am really, really excited to try those. But I 100% recommend them. I wouldn't recommend them to you if I didn't. So thank you as always to Wild for sending me these goodies. I look forward to trying out that scent and displaying that beautiful case on my bath. The other thing, now I feel like so many of you are going to curse me right now, but Josh and I have started our Christmas shopping. It's September, I know it's early, but my brother and sister-in-law have almost finished theirs and it's making me feel a little bit behind the game. Also, there's nothing better than rolling into the actual Christmas month, sort of end of November, December, and all your Christmas shopping's already done and you can just enjoy the festivities. So I do like to make a start early. That being said, it is difficult this year. The boys are all older, everything is so much more expensive, and the things that they want, or the things that I know they would like, seem to come in smaller packages but are much more expensive. So trying to figure out things to get for them has been difficult. Same goes for Avery. I don't want to buy her more toys as such because she has so many already and she tends to gravitate, or she tends to prefer just a few of them. And because her sort of development isn't as fast as other children her age, we don't have to replace her toys as often because she's still kind of in the developmental range of the toys that she has. Toy recommendations, by the way, if you have little ones, Love Every toys are amazing. They actually do play kits that are kind of tailored around developmental stages, and they also do subscriptions. We still use the base to the play gym that Love Every do as well. I have the sort of wooden frame for the play gym in her room, and we use that when she's kind of getting changed from the bath and stuff. But the mat always sits downstairs and we absolutely love that one. I think what I love about that play gym is the frame is quite tall, so I feel like it lasts a lot longer. It takes a lot more time for them to grow out of it, and it's still kind of usable once the baby is sitting up. Avery is still kind of sitting in the sort of 3 to 6 month developmental range, so we sadly haven't been able to take another play kit from Love Every for quite a while. But as soon as she does pass that milestone, I 100% will be getting the next play kit because I love their toys and they're all wooden and beautiful and just really aesthetically pleasing as well, which I feel like is appreciated by any adult that has a house full of obnoxious, brightly coloured kids' toys. But anyway, for Avery's main present this year, I actually had the idea of getting her a Tony's box. So I ordered this on Smith's Toys and they actually had one of these at Little Harbour, and I've seen them all over TV, you know, they're not new, they are quite popular, and I was just thinking to myself, Avery is now at a point where we can put her to bed awake and she is quite happy to sort of chill until she falls to sleep. I like that she has that routine now. She goes to bed at the same time whether she's asleep or awake. And on the nights where she doesn't go down asleep, sometimes she does fall asleep in my arms, but on the nights when she hasn't and she's awake, I can pop this on for her. We still put her she has like a projector, so she has lights on the ceiling. At the moment we use that, but I thought it would be really, really nice if this box could read her a story. That way I'm not in her room reading her a story, so I'm not kind of stimulating her and making her think that she can stay up past her bedtime and I'm still playing with her. This can just play in the background and read her a nice story. It's no secret that stories are really good for children and really good for their development. I think you can get sort of nursery rhymes and songs as well. But yeah, so I thought this was a really, really good idea. Now the box itself is not cheap considering it is, you know, this size. I think it's around £80 or £90 for just the box, but I did actually buy this in a kit which was just over £100, which gives you the box and a couple of the I think they are actually called Tonys, the little figures that go inside the box, that tells the story. And I think what I love about it as well is they are all really widely known stories, like really popular stories. All of the Disney stories, some of the CBeebies shows are in Tonys. Lots and lots and lots of different stories and ones that Avery knows. So the first one we got is a little Peppa Pig one. She's still Peppa Pig mad at the moment, and this is actually a bedtime version. It's Peppa's bedtime stories, which I thought was really fitting since we're going to be mostly using this for her at bedtime. And the little figures, literally, the lighting is terrible, literally just are the figure of the character, and then they just pop on the top of the box and it tells the story. And then the second one we got is Moana. Avery used to love Moana. She used to watch it on repeat before she found Frozen. I love Moana and I just feel like there'll be some really, really nice stories in this. There is actually a new Moana coming out and me and Josh feel like we may actually do Avery's very first cinema trip when that comes out. I'm really hoping she loves it because I'd love to watch Moana on repeat again every day. I just think the story is really nice and the songs are beautiful and it's really lovely. So yeah, this is Avery's main Christmas present, and our Christmas shopping has well and truly kicked off. Let the fun begin. Anyway, I'm going to close this vlog out here. I hope you enjoyed spending a few days with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.